I'm Renae Turner Meredith, the daughter of Dennis and Laura Turner, granddaughter of Clell and Bertha Turner. My grandmother, Bertha Turner, did the potato chip machine here up on the Anchorman Ranch in Crawford. I've lived here my whole entire life. I was born in Delta, Colorado, but I was raised in Crawford till the 6th grade, and then we moved down here to Hotchkiss. Dad was a rancher, and we farmed up there. I rode mules, just loved it up in Crawford, right below Needle Rock. And then when times got bad, we moved down here, lived at the Pat's Cafe, the house right beside it, while we were building the house up on the mesa. And then Dad worked at the plumbing shop that's now where Weekender Sports is until the fire. And then after the fire, he went to the coal mines and spent the rest of his life at the coal mines. But I'll go back to the potato chip machine there up at Anchorman's when we lived in Crawford. Grandma did all the slicing of the potatoes and put them in the thing, and they did all that there. Anchorman's was a big place there because during the fall or spring, it was fall, when they did the fair in August there, we'd all meet at their big barn and go out in the fields and get the grass and the wheat and stuff and put them on boards and put them in the fair. I remember that. We did that a lot for many years and stuff. So, and let's see. My great-great-great-great-grandfather is Spawn Svensson, which when he came to New York, they changed their name to Lindman, and that's basically how the Lindmans all got started here. He moved up here in Crawford and had a place there in Crawford, and I remember going and seeing them. Spawn had a glass eye, and Dad was always talking about him taking his glass eye in and out all the time. But my fondest memory of them was when I was little, and they had the great big gas tanks there that you filled up the farm equipment and the tractors and stuff and that, and they always filled up the old cars. And one day when they were filling up the old car there, I put the car in reverse or something, and anyway it ran over the gas pump. That's one of my memories of the Swan Lindman up there at Crawford and stuff and that. So.
What are some of your fondest childhood memories?
Oh, living up on the ranch when we lived in Crawford there below Needle Rock. We had a big old mule that pulled the raking machine and stuff and that when we were haying, and I would climb on the back of that crazy mule and hang on to the Hanes or whatever those little balls are on the collar of the horse. I loved that horse to death. That mule and they were the big mules. Yeah, and I'd ride there all day long while we were doing the farming, and the hay stacking and all of that.
What'd you think about while you were riding?
How much fun it was. I don't really remember it was my babysitter, I guess. I just loved it. I was with Dad and Papa Clell.
What were the mules' names?
What were they named? Molly and Blackie. Blackie was the one I had. And then we had several Shetland ponies, but Grandpa Clell would always go to the sale barn in Delta and buy Shetland ponies and bring home. And they were always the orneriest things ever. We had an orchard just up from the house, and you'd get on that pony, and that sucker would take you through that orchard and knock you off through those tree branches. I remember that. And I also remember growing up there. It's nothing like nowadays. We would have snow that you would shovel a pathway out. It would be 6 to 7 feet tall of snow. I've got a lot of pictures of me being a baby with the snow so tall and having to dig our way out and stuff. So, and then the deer. Darrell Hawk lived over on the other side. And we would play together all the time. We'd go up on the hillside and we made houses out of the sagebrush. You'd go around and say, this is the kitchen, this is the living room. And we had more fun, and we would always find baby fawns up there. And we just had more fun up there doing that. And then one day we found a mama cat with a bunch of kittens. And we decided to take those kittens down to the house and put in the basement down where the furnace was. And in them days, you had a coal furnace. So you had to muck out all of the coal and change the cinders and all that and stuff. And we took those kittens down there and put in the basement of the furnace room. And oh, my mom and dad was so mad because they were wild kittens. Needless to say, we had to take the kittens out and put them back where we found them and stuff. And then Daryl and I would always go. We had a big barn that we stored grain in. And one of our most famous thing, I don't know if you've ever had raw grain, we would sit there and eat that grain. Oh my God, that's the best thing ever, is to eat that raw grain. We ate that a lot. And then we had pigs. I had a pig named Alice. And we had a bunch of chickens and rabbit hutches because I broke my arm jumping off of the top of the rabbit hutch, and we had to come down here to the clinic. And that's when Dr. Brown was a doc down here, and he set my arm. I just have a lot of good memories up there.
What of those memories values have you brought to your adult life?
Oh, all kinds of them. All the animals and having a farm and just everything. Oh, what else is there that just having fun and getting outside and, not being inside playing video games all the time, being outside and enjoying life. Yeah.
I was thinking about my own experience on the farm and growing up in husbandry of the soil, the environment.
Mm-hmm. We had a big garden because that's what we survived on, was the big garden. I drive by the old house all the time. They totally remodeled it, and I often wonder if they still had we had the old aluminum kitchen cabinets and stuff and that, and I always wondered if I'm sure they've gone by now and stuff, but then that was the good old days. I've got a lot of my old stuff. I've got my great-grandmother's, all her old stuff. I gave my daughter the old table with the 4 chairs. We've got a lot of that old stuff. Pulling the hay, doing the hay, and we had a hay stacker that was horse-drawn that lifted it up into the thing there and stuff and that. But I rode the horse all the time growing up. And then the snow was probably 6-7 feet tall. We'd dig tunnels to get out to the car and have to dig the car out because the snow was so high in the winters.
I can't imagine a Needle Rock. You said you lived right under
Needle Rock.
I can't imagine. It's such an iconic thing.
Yeah.
What was it like to grow up in
Oh, it was
that environment?
wonderful.
Tell me about that.
We'd walk up there all the time. We called it Shale Hill. There was a little where it went around and went up to the other way. There was actually 2 ways because they'd done away with the one road. But we would always go up there on the Shale Hill and go clear up to the base of Needle Rock. We played there a lot. And it was wonderful living there. I think that's why my dad loved it so much, and his ashes are scattered on Needle Rock because that's what he wanted. And Grandma's ashes, everybody's ashes are on Needle Rock. My ashes will be on Needle Rock because it was just a wonderful place to live. We've got all happy memories there. Dad and Grandpa worked their tail ends off in the fields. We had cows. We had thousands of acres there because it went down below, and we had the dam. There was a reservoir down there, and you crossed the reservoir and then went up on the hill, and that's where Ira and Emma lived for a while until they moved into town and stuff. But they farmed that all until it got so that you just couldn't make a living off of the cows and the farming. And that's when Dad came down here to the plumbing shop and started working down here. farming, and when Dad was in the plumbing thing, he just loved doing everything and helping everybody, and he just loved this little place. I think that's why he never left. He served, what did he serve? 3 years. He was in the Army. Left right after he got out of school. Him and Bill Lindman left and they went to Denver, and then they caught a plane, and I don't remember where they ended up, but Dad ended up in Okinawa, Japan. And he was the telecommunicator. He put up phone lines in Okinawa, Japan for the Army and stuff. And when he came back, all he could talk about was how horrible that was, and how the war was terrible and stuff. And I've got a lot of pictures that I've got to go through, and we just found a little box the other day that Mom had packed up of Okinawa stuff.
Yeah, you put together quite a book of reminiscences of family history.
Yes. The one I brought here is of my mom's side.
I see.
And stuff. And Carl has my mom's other side on the Williamses. I did the Woods side. And then Dad has done the Lindman side, that's from Sweden. And when Dad passed away, I don't know how they got it, but somehow or another they got Dad's obituary, and seen that I was related to Emma and Ira Turner Adams. She was an Adams. And so now I've been located and communicating with relatives in South Carolina on the Adamses side. And we've just been sending stuff back and forth, and they've got pictures, I've got pictures, and we're trying to do on great-grandma Adams's. And she lived to be 103. And she was a sweet lady. And they lived up on the ranch with us, and then they came down here before we came down here and stuff. But I'm researching the Adamses side now, and I'm hoping in June to go back to a family reunion back there.
Where's back there?
In South Carolina. Is where she has sent me pictures of my great-great-great-grandpa's headstones from the cemetery, and it's a great big tall headstone, and they've got a lot of stuff that I'd love to go see from the Adamses side of the family. And then they put me in. I have not met them yet, but I'm finding out that I have relatives in Delta and Olathe that I've got to go meet that I didn't even know I was related to. Out in this whole valley, you can't talk about anybody that I'm not related to.
What are your feelings about living in this as a sense of place?
Oh, I love this place. It's such a nice, sweet little valley. There's not a bad bone. Everybody gets along. It's just a wonderful place to raise your kids and your family. I don't know. It's just a really nice little community.
What feelings do you get, like when you return home and...
I've never left.
Never left?
I've never left. I really couldn't tell you because I've never left